Well, I guess maybe I'll start off with the first principles approach to societal, how would you do it differently? I think probably direct democracy is better than representative democracy. And so if you're trying to represent the will of the people, it would be better to have direct votes, which were not possible in the old days because you had, you had to mail things around and the information moved very slowly. But in an electronic society where information moves instantly, you can represent very directly the will of the people. And I think this diminishes the ability of special interests to influence things in a way that is contrary to the will of the people. So I think that's what I would say is probably good. Also, the laws have a infinite lifetime. So you have to, I think, or it's probably a good idea to have something in the voting system that accounts for the infinite lifetime of laws and the sort of inertial effect of laws. So perhaps it would be good for all rules to have an inherent sunset provision. So they would automatically expire unless they get revoted as being correct. And then maybe have a hysteresis where if, in order for something to become a law, maybe it requires 60% vote, but at any point 40% or more can remove the law. This sounds sort of anarchist, I suppose, but I'm kind of pro-anarchist. I
would say try it in the US and then we will follow.
I think generally fewer rules are better than more rules. But anyway, that's my rough guess at if you had to recompile on democracy, how would you do it to better represent the true will of the people, which I think is the intent of democracy. So.
I have to ask you because it's the #1 question. Just going back to Mars, what kind of government do you envision for the first Martian colony?
So and
what's your title?
Yeah, exactly. Emperor or God Emperor? I don't know. It might be too much. I don't know. If you watch my jokes here, not everyone gets irony. Must remember. So I think I think most likely the form of government on Mars would be somewhat of a direct democracy, where you vote on issues, where people vote directly on issues, instead of going through representative government. When the United States was formed, representative government was the only thing that was logistically feasible, because there was no way for people to communicate instantly. A lot of people didn't even have really access to mailboxes, or there wasn't even really the post office was very, very primitive. A lot of people couldn't write. So you had to have some form of representative democracy, or things just wouldn't work at all. But I think on Mars, most likely it's going to be everyone votes on every issue, and that's how it goes. There are a few things I'd recommend, which is keep laws short. Long laws, it's like that's something suspicious is going on if there's a long law. If the size of the law exceeds the word count of Lord of the Rings, something's which it does, amazingly, then it's like something's wrong. So there should be a limit to the size of the law that you should be able to digest it. Like, how come you can read the Constitution and all of the amendments, like you can read those in maybe an hour? And we govern so much of our civilization by that, and yet modern law is this obtuse, super boring tome that's indecipherable to almost anyone. So I think direct democracy, laws that are comprehensible. I think having some kind of hysteresis on, like, it should be easier to remove a law than create one, because things just get to inertia. You have to have something that's going to overcome inertia. So probably, I don't know what the right number would be, maybe it's like 60-40. Maybe it requires 60% to get a law in place, but any number above 40% can remove a law. Otherwise, you just get laws just accumulate over time, and it's sort of like Gulliver, where you just get trapped by all these tiny strings and you can't move. You get hardening of the arteries of civilization with rules and rules and rules and rules. So it should be just easier to get rid of a rule than to put one in. Maybe they should even have like some kind of sunset clause, so that they just automatically expire unless there's enough of an impetus to keep them around.
I know there's a fair amount of interest. I'm interested in hearing a little bit more about the very early days with Tesla and how it came together. Your brother Kimball is here. I thought we'd bring him out.
Sure.
You guys could talk a little bit about it.